we need to all stand strong and believe that one person can make a difference. I'm talking to Chris's in Colorado, some of you in California, some of you are in North Carolina where Max is, and the chat room is all over the world, and we all have something in common. We are all, children from the Creator, whether it be the Anunnaki Creator or coming from a different star system and being seated here by the Federation and coming here to experience on this planet. So what I say to everyone now is that we need to raise the bar. We need to be in our heart. We need to be heart smart. We need to forgive these people for what they do. They know not what they do. They do it for money. They do it for greed. They do it for power. And their time is over. Their time is short. Our time is at hand. And that's what we have to look at. The solution to all this. We know what the problems are that they create. We know what our reactions have been to it. And now we have to come up with viable solutions so that way we can send these people packing. So if anybody wants to comment on that, please do.
I think we have any comments on that. If you want to continue on with what you were talking about before, that would be super.
Okay, well, I was talking about the legend of J.C. Brown. So as a result of my research there, I met Jen in California as I was making a movie about this, and I was snookered into people trying to get me arrested for things that, I didn't want to be bothered with. I realized that I was onto something about what was really going on in the underneath the mountain of Mount Shasta. And come to learn, there are 2 bases now, military bases on Mount Shasta that are being used for genetic human testing, which is wrong, to do testing against our will or to be abducted. There's people being abducted all over the country. And even now I hear that Native American women are being abducted like never before. And people who go to national parks are never to be seen again, them and their families. And where are these people being taken? Many of these national parks that most people don't know, I will tell you, all have underground rail systems, or they have underground bases there where things are hidden. So the fact that it's government land, people will never be aware of it, never know that there's a hollow earth entrance in that facility, in that national park. So this is how secrets have been kept. And what we have to understand, that somebody on the inside is going to say, I got to tell people what's really going on. I don't want to take this to my death. I'm going to die anyway. So I might as well just come clean and tell people what's really going on. But it just seems like these people are even afraid that after life, they'll bring them back and they'll reincarnate them and they'll fry them like an egg. And that's part of the problem, is the reincarnation process. Because if you think about it, if we just look at the Civil War, for example, and I'm not that I'm ranting here, but I got a point I want to make. More Americans were lost in the Civil War than any other war in our country's history. And then you think about, well, if it was so bad that all these people got killed, why haven't we learned a lesson from it that war is no good? And I realized, well, what if this Creator Anunnaki God created a reincarnative situation where we come back, and they would put us in certain scenarios to do certain things over and over again. So, for example, if my family was in the Civil War, the next time around I reincarnate, guess what I would be? I would be a soldier again. And it's just a cycle that would keep repeating and repeating and repeating. So they wouldn't have to go out looking for new recruits, because they know that every generation, or every time there's so many people coming into the world, that they were their soldiers, because they're coming back to do what the only thing they knew how to do is to kill people. So when you see people who go into these situations as, oh yeah, I'm going to be patriotic, you wonder, wait a minute, it's more to it than that. So we are all into this reincarnative process, good, bad, or indifferent. And some different religions they talk about, it's cause and effect, and the deja vu. You'll come back if you kill somebody in a previous embodiment. You come back in this embodiment. You have to feel what it's like to be either killed by somebody else or to be really hurt real bad. So, if this is the karmic lessons that we are to learn, that we have to realize that we need to be in service to each other. Because if we're going to come back again, and this is what prison planet Earth is, we better figure out a way to opt out of it. Now, I know how to opt out of it, and I will share with you and all your listeners how that is attainable. And that's attainable by not having someone bury you into the ground. You must be cremated, and your ashes put out to sea or thrown in the air, wherever in the atmosphere, and that'll allow your essence, your soul essence, to go back to the universe, to the multiverse, and be able to incarnate somewhere else and not duplicate the process here on Earth. But as long as we decide that we are going to be part of this Anunnaki, recycle plan, then we're doomed to repeat it. So for those of you listening, think about it. When it's time for you to make arrangements about your burial, don't go in the ground. Cremation is the answer to a reincarnation process, because I see people and they keep going back and doing the same things. And I say to people, if you want something different, you've got to do something different. You won't get different results if you keep doing the same thing. So my goal here tonight is to show a different side of Stephen Sindoni or Stephen Sindoni or whatever anybody wants to call me, and understand that what's happened to me previously is gone. I can't change what's happened to me yesterday. I can only change my perception of what I spoke about last week. But I know who I am as a person. I know who I am as a man. I know who I am as someone who has integrity, someone who wants the right thing for humanity. And I can't let anyone change my philosophy and the way I feel about humanity. But humanity has to realize that they need to step up to the plate and take accountability for their own actions. It's not what you say or do, it's what you demonstrate. If you say you love someone, you better show them. You better hug that child of yours. You better tell that child you love them. You better help them with their homework. Don't be selfish, because you're not promised tomorrow. It's only the here and now that you got. So in the here and now, I'm doing my thing, because I know that what I'm doing now is what I'm good at. I'm good at taking the floor and commanding an audience all over the world. This is what I do, because when you find what it is you like to do, you'll never work another day in your life. So right now, this for me is being fellowshipping with everybody out there, because I am now in service to humanity. Yes, I know I was talking about legends and mysteries and all that thing. But right now I'm in service because we all have to come together. As the Beatles said, or John Lennon said, all we need is love. And we have to figure out a way to stop these guys from wanting to push the button and making it difficult for the rest of us, because people are beautiful until proven otherwise. And I think all of us have been naive, believing that everybody else should be given a pass. No, they shouldn't be given a pass. They should be accountable for what they do. And some of the things you spoke about earlier, about some of these people, what they're guilty of, I'm not in judgment of anyone. I'll just say that you've got to do the right thing, because everybody, is going to be affected by your actions, whether you realize it or not. What happens in China affects what happens in America, and vice versa. This is a small world, and we're all connected. And when you realize just how connected we are, you realize that you can pick up the phone and be talking to somebody 4,000, 5,000 miles away, or they can have the same thought as you in mercurial speed, in God's speed, because we do all have the same wants. We all do have the same needs, and we all want to care for our families and to have the best we can